General Hospital Monday, November 17 recap. Laura slaps and threatens Dalton, Rick points Alexis toward suspect. General Hospital GH recap for Monday, November 17, reveals that Laura Collins Jeannie Francis slapped and publicly threatened Professor Henry, Hank, Dalton Daniel Goddard while Rick Lansing Rick Hurst pointed Alexis Davis Nancy Lee Grant toward a suspect. At the gallery, Trina Robinson Tayana Ali told Kai Taylor, Jens Austin Astrup she wanted to confess to Curtis Ashford Donald Turner and Portia Robinson Brooke Kerr that they were at Drew Kane's Cameron Matheson place the night of the shooting. Trina thought that if they came clean about the blackmail material being gone, the strain between Portia and Curtis would go away, too. Kai felt there may be other reasons for the strain and got Trina to see that Portia didn't have an alibi. If Trina came clean, Kai suggested that Curtis and Portia might make a confession of their own. Kai wondered if that was a truth that Trina really wanted to know. At the courthouse, Sonny Corinthos Maurice Bernard conferred with Rick about Rocco Falconeri's Fincar failed deal before demanding answers from Ada Justine Turner Nazneen contractor who double-crossed his grandson. Justine insisted she received new evidence after the deal was struck and couldn't ignore it, but Sonny argued that Dalton was framing Rocco. Sonny also considered the idea that Justine was using the situation to benefit her career. Although Justine had to do her job, she told Sonny that the evidence would be investigated and that the jury might be more sympathetic to Rocco than Dalton. In Alexis's office, Felicia Scorpio Christina Wagner talked to her about Portia having access to the gun since she previously visited Monica Quartermain Leslie Charlson a couple of times a week to provide updates from GH. Alexis acknowledged that she wasn't trying to prove Portia's guilt, she just needed to widen the suspect pool and create reasonable doubt in Willow Tate's Caitlin McMullen case. Afterward, Rick showed up to insist that Danny Morgan, Asher Antonizin, and Charlotte Cassadine, Bluesy Burke needed to come forward to help Rocco, but Alexis was nervous about the trouble that'd bring for her grandson. Rick mentioned sweetening the deal for Alexis and delivered another suspect in Drew's shooting. Once Rick admitted it was Portia, he hinted he could give Alexis several reasons why Portia might have pulled the trigger. At GH, Portia looked at her sonogram before Curtis entered. After Portia stressed the importance of waiting to tell anyone about the pregnancy, Curtis confessed that Stella Henry, Vernie Watson, figured it out. Stella was rooting against the divorce, so Portia hoped he wasn't about to suggest they should stick together for the baby's sake when she'd just seen him kissing Jordan Ashford Tanisha Harper. Curtis was sorry Portia witnessed that, but he still felt they could step up as co-parents for the baby's sake. When Curtis caught a glimpse of the sonogram and asked if he could keep it, Portia let him take it with him. Curtis got emotional over the baby outside Portia's office while she nervously kept the paternity mystery to herself. At Bobby's, Lulu Spencer Alexa Havens Bruning gave Carly Spencer, Laura Wright, the bad news about Rocco's hearing and all the false accusations that had led to Rocco's felony charges. Lulu knew that if Charlotte Cassadine, Bluesy Burke, and Danny Morgan, Asher Antonizin, came forward, it might help bolster Rocco's story. However, Lulu was wary of making trouble for Danny and Charlotte on top of everything else. Carly knew prison could change Rocco forever, so Lulu apologized over how things went down with Michael Corinthos, Rory Gibson, in the past and worried about how much Rocco had to lose. Back at the hospital, Britt Westbourne Kelly Thibaud confronted Emma Scorpio Drake Braden Bruner about getting Rocco to steal the key fob and blamed her for getting him arrested. After Britt assumed Rocco had been putting on an act, Emma insisted he genuinely liked her. Emma also revealed that she told Rocco to get to know Britt for himself, but the jury was still out on whether Britt had changed or not. Although Emma was sorry for Rocco's mess, Britt knew from personal experience that sometimes an apology wasn't good enough and you had to live with your mistakes. Meanwhile, Gio came clean to Brooklyn Quartermain, Amanda Seddon, and Dante Falconeri, Dominic Zamprogna, about his role in recruiting the teens as a distraction. Gio pointed out that the plan was called off after Ned Quartermain's Wally Kurth heart attack, but Rocco and the others went ahead with it anyway. Dante fumed over Rocco paying the price, but Emma popped up and tried to take the blame. That only added to Dante's anger since he assumed Gio sacrificed his brother while trying to impress a girl. Dante ultimately ordered Gio to get out of his face before he said or did something he'd regret, so Gio indeed walked away. Brooklyn looked distraught over the whole situation as Dante continued to seethe. As for Laura, she entered the voting area and spoke to Elizabeth Baldwin, Rebecca Herbst, as well as Nathan West, Ryan Peavy about Dalton framing Rocco since he never said anything about vandalism before. Dalton eventually entered and started taunting Laura about how difficult it'd be to protect Rocco after losing the election. As Dalton pushed Laura's buttons regarding Rocco and Sonny, She flew into a rage and snapped about him being a liar. Others gathered around and used their phones to film Laura's outburst, which included giving Dalton a slap across the face. Laura declared that Dalton was trying to frame Rocco for a crime he didn't commit and promised that would not end well for him. General Hospital spoilers say Laura may regret publicly threatening Dalton soon enough, so stay tuned. CDL will have all the sizzling General Hospital spoilers, updates and news you need, so make us your favorite hotspot.